Yo, what up, world? This is your boy Anye from Anye's Way, Atlanta's #1 voice. And yeah, we talking about NBA boycotts. Or is it half-ass boycotts? Yeah, let's talk about it, y'all. Let's get into the show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Anye from Anye's Way. And, got my NBA attire today, my Clippers, it's my Clippers. Anyway, so if y'all can remember earlier this year, Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets and a couple of other players were talking about boycotting the season if it were to come back. And he and those other players, but specifically him, because he was the biggest fish out there and the one pushing the hardest, caught a lot of flack from a lot of black sports anchors, namely some like...
Stands for what? And stayed home? Who are you hurting? You're not hurting the owners. You're hurting you're hurting the athletes, the African Americans, 80% who make...
Yeah, and that's the place that we're at as a group, where anytime one person is trying to get something going for the group that's going to help the group, that is a selfish act outside of himself. This is the millionaire that's saying, you know what? I care about what's going on with my people out there in the streets, the people that look up to me, the kids, and I want to say something about it. I want to do something about it. I want to leverage my power and my celebrity to help out. And then we have people in our group that go and speak against, like that clip I just showed you, which is so counterproductive. And this is why I always say we as a people need leadership bad. We need ideology bad. We need some type of black government or coalition to set up and structure us as a people on, the do's and don'ts of how we should be able to move as a people. Because at this point, we just moving like a bunch of, just think about it. If you had a bunch of marbles in your hand, you just threw them up in the air and they just hit the ground. That's how we move. Whereas other groups of people move in a more productive manner, like a line of ants running up your driveway. So, where do we stand right now? As reported about a week or two ago, there was a league meeting with a lot of players. Some big names are there, namely LeBron James. Yes. And from the reports that we're hearing, I'm actually hearing that LeBron was ready to sit out for the rest of the season, and he was trying to convince more players to be with it. As far as we're hearing, allegedly, the totality of the Lakers and the Clippers team said that, hey, they were willing to sit out, but they couldn't get everybody else on board. Why, you ask? Because just like I said earlier, the marble mentality. Black people are those marbles. Everybody's going in their own individualistic way. And we don't have any mechanism of holding people accountable and forcing people to move like ants. We got to get into this mentality, or we'll never be able to make things work on a mass level, on a group level. You can't keep allowing people to have the freedom of choice, especially when they don't make wise decisions and they don't come from a firm foundation. They're easily led to their own decisions, which work against the group effort. I applaud LeBron for his stance, especially with him being the biggest name out there in the face of the NBA, willing to take a stance as such. But it all kind of goes for naught when the rest of your troops don't want to follow you. You know what? Which is lead me to believe that our people can't be given a democracy type system, within dealing with our own, to say, hey, you can make your own choice. But we gonna need a Beanie Siegel state property type setup. Like,
I got my own shit out here, man. I'm doing it on my own, man. I really don't need no help, dude. Nigga, you gonna get down or you gonna fucking lay down.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna need. We're gonna have to get to a point as a people. Yeah, I'm saying it right here, that you're not gonna be able to give people a choice. Either you gonna, as the video said, get down or lay down. But you're not gonna be able to be an individual and do things that work against the whole. Especially when leadership is telling you, how we need to move or what you need to do. This is why it's so important, again, that we create structure so that we don't run into problems like this. As far as this week goes, 2 out of the last 3 days, games were canceled, which was technically 1 game per team in the playoffs. Some are satisfied with that, but most aren't. I'm definitely not. If you ask me what would I have liked to see, I would have liked to see the players come together in full solidarity and just sit out the rest of the season. Some say, what is a basketball boycott going to do as far as police brutality and changing things? Well, here's my perspective. I say that within an issue that's so big, I think that everybody plays a part. Nobody's part is bigger than the next man. Everybody can play a part, from the person that's sitting at home to the biggest basketball player in the world, to a black judge here or there, to black cops on the police force, to hell, even white cops on the police force, white lawyers, white politicians, if they choose to be a part of the cause. We have to look at it from an all hands in standpoint, and we can't just say, well, maybe they should get involved, maybe they shouldn't get involved. Everybody has to get involved. Back to basketball, we say, what kind of change could they inflict? Well, we have to understand that the power that they have and the power that they can leverage, which is their influence. Their influence is heavy. Their followings is heavy. When they talk, people listen. When LeBron speaks, people listen. The man is influential. We got to also understand, since we're in a capitalistic society, the type of money that is produced from the NBA. That's $1 billion corporation. So, if we're saying, hey, this is $1 billion corporation and most of the players on the court are black, and we're saying, hey, hold up, you still want us to focus on basketball at a time as such when our people are getting killed and the owners are going to do nothing about it, league executives are going to do nothing about it, or they're not going to do what we feel is enough? No, well, you know what? No. We're going to force your hand, because we know that there are billions of dollars on the other side of the spectrum, even though we're millionaires. And we know in capitalistic America, money equals what? Yeah, power. And if you have power, you can leverage some things to be able to help for my cause. Hey, maybe these billionaire owners aren't politicians, but I'm pretty sure they got some politician friends. I'm pretty sure they got some big time lawyer friends. I'm pretty sure that through their network of connections throughout all of these black cities, that they can leverage some of their power to help to change policy, or to help to change the conditions, or to help to change something on these police forces to where we can see some type of reform. To think that they have no power at all, to me, is asinine. And anyone that has power, we need to learn how to leverage that. If you're not going to help me with my cause, then you know what? I'm just not going to play at all. I'm not going to continue making you rich. And even with that said, some people would say, you know what? Maybe we need to boycott for now, but just step away altogether. You see the beautiful things that Ice Cube is doing with the Big Three, which I got to give him much props and much respect to. Maybe it's time for us to step away from the NBA altogether. I don't think we've gotten to that. Well, me personally, I would love to see us get to that point, but I don't think mentally a lot of our players are ready to take that revolutionary step yet, but I would love to see it. That would equal independence and doing things our way, black economics, and controlling our own destiny. And even going back to the topic of all hands in, some of you even asked me, what kind of sense does it make for Michael Jordan to be involved in it all? He's always ignored the black community. He's never spoke out about issues of ours, specifically all of those young black men and women getting killed for his shoes. I think that was The Last Dance, if I'm not mistaken. That show where he could have given them back into a black Democrat representative, and he chose not to at the time. But I tell people this: that was the past. This is now. Let's not forget that just earlier this year, Michael Jordan made an $100 million donation to the black community. So hey, some people can grow. Some people can look back and say, you know what? I want to right my wrongs, or I did whatever I did in that time frame for that reason. But I'll save the whole Jordan debate for another video, because I don't want to put the focus solely on him. But what we can focus on before getting out of here is giving props to and putting focus on revolutionary athletes of the past, whether it be Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown, my boy Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who turned his back on the national anthem, and of recent time, of course, Colin Kaepernick, the athlete that a lot of people would say that, a lot of what we see now. as far as social activism from a major athlete, kind of started with him of recent years, and that it has grown into a snowball effect into what we see now. So the question becomes, where do we go from here? Yeah, we don't want to put the focus just on athletes and entertainers. Don't want to put the bulk of the responsibility on athletes and entertainers, but they do play a part, just like you. Yeah, you right there, you play a part too. And you need to figure out what is the part that you could play. Your part doesn't have to be as big as LeBron's, but something little is bigger than nothing at all. I find that a lot of times most people just want to give an opinion about it all. That's not enough. We're talking about our survival. We're talking about a better tomorrow for our people and for our children, meaning you're going to have to get up, off your ass, and you're going to have to figure and find out a way to help. If you don't know of a way to help, hit me up. We'll talk about that. But as I said in another video before, make sure you get involved one way or another. It's easy to be able to criticize those who are trying to figure out solutions, but what are you doing? That's what I encourage us all to do. And with that said, like I always tell y'all, let me know if I'm right, wrong, if I'm crazy, or somewhere in between down there in down there in the comment boxes right now, man. This is your boy Anye from Anye's Way, Atlanta's #1 voice. Love, laugh, let's get rich, let's get righteous. This is your boy Anye from Anye's Way, y'all. Peace.